or how critical race theory was being used in the NHS. So I kind of wanted to get a bit more understanding of A, what critical race theory is, and then, how it's being deployed in the NHS in your view.
Okay, so critical race theory to me is this idea that white people are privileged and black people are oppressed or victims in this country. And I think that's a false narrative. People who support it, in fairness, to provide some balance, people who support critical race theory would say it's not this idea that all white people are privileged. It's just that if you're white, you won't have been held back by the color of your skin in this country. But even that I disagree with, because I've worked in schools in inner cities in this country, and I've seen white kids be in the minority. I've seen them be racially abused. I've seen them be patronized and held back because of the color of their skin. I've seen that white working class boys in particular are held back more than any other demographic in this country other than gypsies and travelers. And that is because of this imbalance. So we've got to stop dividing. Again, it comes down to division. It's white kids versus black kids. Why? Why is it like that? Why are we not looking at, even if you want to address the demographics, look at what's happening in the working class communities and try and plug the social divide between the haves and the have-nots. But even then, why don't we focus on giving all kids the best possible start in life, giving them all equal opportunities, no matter where they come from? That, to me, would be a better approach. But critical race theory is separating us and dividing us based on the color of our skin. And it was a thought experiment in America. It was, okay, so if we redefine racism from discrimination or prejudice against someone based on their race, and we redefine it to a power struggle between white people and non-white people, would that help in the battle of inequalities? And that was the thought experiment. It's probably well-meaning, but it doesn't work in reality. It doesn't even work in academia, but that's where it started. And now we're seeing it infest all aspects of our public life. When the NHS have taken it on board and they're hiring these diversity, equality, and inclusion heads or directors or whatever they are across the country, up and down the country, from £45,000 to £95,000 a year on their salaries. And all they do is, well, from what I can gather, is point at white people and say, you're racist, stop being racist. But it's a Kafkaesque trap, because it's one of those things that if you say, actually, I'm not racist, that's evidence that you are covertly racist. So either you're overtly racist or covertly racist. You can't prove that you're not. There's no win situation for a white person in this argument. And likewise for black people, this idea that you're oppressed or a victim, like, well, I don't think that I am. I'm getting by quite well, thank you. I'm working hard and making something of my life. No, but you would have been better if the white person wasn't getting in your way. And that's the problem of it. Then NHS on one hand is saying we need more money. On the other hand, it's splashing out tens and tens of thousands of pounds, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds, on these woke, ridiculous nonsense. And there's a blog that was published a year ago. I retweeted it. It got a lot of traction this week. But it was a year-old blog addressed called Dear White People, and it tells them, be uncomfortable. And it was just providing reading lists of really extreme left-wing people like Robin DiAngelo, who essentially it's this self-flagellation, it's white hating. But I pointed it out now because she's reflected on it and released another blog that says, actually, I was right on this, and here's more reading. But it's not balanced, it's not broad, it's not a curriculum, it's just indoctrination, and it's, again, tribalism, and it's divisive. And the NHS is supposed to heal and cure people. It's not supposed to divide them. And if you go into the NHS and it says white people be uncomfortable, that's the exact opposite of what you want to hear from the NHS.
So what are the titles, or like the actual job title or description of the NHS directors that you're pointing to here? Like, what are they being hired to specifically do in the, well, at least in their job description? Or like you said, they're like their job is to turn around and be like, okay, you're racist, but like what are they officially being told that their title is or their job is that this is what's happening?
Well, their job is supposedly to improve diversity, equality, and inclusion. So those things don't always match up. So diversity means different, equality means the same. So it's an oxymoron to start with. And inclusion, what does that mean? When we look at the NHS, it's probably the most diverse workforce in the country when we're speaking superficially about race. But that's not the diversity that helps. The diversity that helps is diversity of thought and opinion, especially in science and medicine. You want different ideas, you want innovation, but they're not promoting that. They're lost in this identity politics of we need more brown faces. Why? What does that help anything or anyone? It doesn't. We want people that are going to come up with creative ideas to scientific problems and help with medicine and cures and prevention. So they've got it upside down, and I don't understand why or how.
Why do you think there is this obsession with that borough? Because I understand that historically, at least, that there was very little representation of people from minority backgrounds on TV, on radio, and TV shows, and things like that, in the media especially. And so I understand where this has its roots in, but this is just like my views on it. It's just I don't see the huge barriers anymore that there is. Like I see friends of mine who are from different races that are incredibly successful in their respective fields. Yep. I remember making the point when any time that someone says that like women are oppressed in this country, that I always make the point is like, well, is that the case when there was at one point, I think 4 or 5 years ago, where our prime minister was a woman, the leader of the largest party in Scotland was a woman, the leader of the largest Welsh party was a woman, the leader of the Liberal Democrats was going to become a woman in Jo Swinson. There was the leader of the 3 largest parties in Northern Ireland were all women. And
the Metropolitan Police Commissioner is a woman. Yeah, representation is a nonsense. It doesn't work.
Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the podcast. Don't forget our sponsor, ExpressVPN, and my book, Brexit, The Establishment Civil War, can both be found in the links in the description below. And also, please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. It's the best way to help us grow. Until next time, thanks for listening. Screw the hedge funds.
You can make as many rules as you want, but if there's no teeth behind them, what's the point?
Well, like Citadel is potentially just gone in a few months. It feels like financial institutions, that they are all laughing at us by buying GME. Screw the hedge funds. Like, I will lose my entire investment if it brings them down.
Why on earth, last May, could you buy the entire company for $200 million?
What's been happening on Reddit and in social media and in the marketplace has never been seen before.
I argue that nothing is off the table. There is nothing off the table when dealing with the volumes of money in something as big as the United States stock market.
The hedge funds have clearly underestimated a group of people raised on Friday night World of Warcraft raids.
Dark pools, they're another mechanism to manipulate and cheat. Mainstream journalists don't say these things for a number of reasons. One is their sources are the people that I'm talking about, and so they can't call somebody a crook.
Superstonk and the other communities that have emerged are a hive mind, the likes of which we have never seen before. It's madness and brilliance, insanity and genius all rolled into one. It's very possible that Citadel will be gone in a few months. And not just Citadel, but the entire financial system has the potential to come crashing down. These crooks continue to gamble recklessly with the world economy, and this could be the moment that they finally get their justice.